Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Roads Less Traveled. We are gonna do a little garage session today, and that is because we got a couple of new goodies for the DRZ. We've got an anti-gravity battery, a Motodash and Vapor Trail Tech digital display going in. Apologies for the raspy voice, but it is March we are in South Carolina, which means everything is covered with pollen and my allergies are going nuts.
Alright, time to get the bike up. Well, this is unfortunate. Got caught in the rain. Yeah. Oh, thank
you. These bolts that come with the tusk rack that go through the rack, the tail rack and the seats are the longest bolts ever and take a year and a day to get out. Just these two bolts for the gas tank. Bike is all naked now. Last but not least, now that we got everything off, got all our wiring exposed, the Motodash is going to replace this whole section here. It's going to move my ignition. There's a spot, I'll move it off to the right hand side, and then it has a spot for these indicator lights, and the Trail Tech Vapor display will be my new display. I'm going to start getting these bolts out, getting this display off. Pop right out. This will be the indicator switches. Now that's all that's left is the speedometer cable. There she blows. And this indicator bar out. There we go. Alright, nice. Now we got that out. And this guy is going to get mounted right in here. My ignition key start is going to go right here. So that'll look real nice up there. I am going to get some auxiliary lights that I'm going to wire to here. I just didn't get a chance to get them and I was too anxious to wait. I wanted to get this done and see how it looked. So the ignition switch should come right out of this boot. If I'm not mistaken, there should be two clips that just pull, I guess, this off so the bracket can come out. Got the dash here. That looks awesome already. That is about what it'll look like. So that looks pretty good. Now we just got to get to wiring. I think what I'm going to do is take off the plug from the old display, just wire it right into here to the power wire for this, so that it'll plug right in here, and I'll go straight to the battery. Everything should work great. And this guy is going to get hooked up straight to the battery, and that is from the Motodash, and that will run the USB and these switches once I get some aux lights, which will mount up here. First though, I am going to do sensors. I'm going to start with the tachometer and just wrap it around the spark plug wire here. I'm going to feed it down through where all these wires already go. Since there's so much extra wire, I'm just going to strip some and cut it off. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be good. Next up, I'm gonna do the temperature sensor. That's gonna go right in the top of the radiator here. It's just a bolt. Just gonna remove the pressure release valve on the top of the radiator. Pop this new temperature sensor in. All that's left is speedometer and hard power. Next sensor we're gonna do is the speed sensor, just a 3M sticky mount that I am going to end up sticking right around there. It says you want to keep it about a 1/2 inch away from the magnet, or a 1/2 inch higher. And then I'm going to take this magnetic bolt and replace one of the rotor bolts with this. So I fed the speed sensor line up through the brake cable bracket, I guess. Put it through this one, tuck it in back here, plug her in, back down here. This is going to go about here, and we want to be about a 1/2 inch above that. Something like that. Should be good. And that should be good. Zip tie that up. Speed sensor done. Last but not least is the hardwiring the power. The power wire, which is here, and that's supposed to plug into the remaining spot here to plug it in, and it's totally different. This is not the right connection. It's actually the same connection as the tach, and I checked like 5 times to make sure I wasn't an idiot, and I'm not, because that is the tach. So I called technical support, and he asked me about 5 times if I was positive that I didn't mix the two up, and I'm pretty sure I'm positive. This fits exactly into there, but that does not help me. I need that attachment. So we still don't have the power wire. I reached out to Trail Tech customer service. They got right back to me, which was awesome. They realized that the wire that I had in my box was actually another tach wire, but for a different bike, I guess. Sent out the new power wire 2 days ago. I got the shipping email, but I still do not have it. So still waiting on that, but I did get 2 Thumper Jockey 1500 lumen lights, and I've got the J&S bracket, which I am going to get ready to put on now. Just goes right between the fender there. Definitely gonna need spacers. So I tried it with the Poly Sport fender, and I just don't have a spacer that's big enough to get the bracket over this gap here. I could probably go to the store and find something, but I figured just to get it on, we went back with the OG fender. Got the bracket on there, fits nice. That looks good. Look what we finally got. The proper power wire for the Trail Tech Vapor. You can see this was the other one that I got, and that is the connection. And it looks pretty much identical, the power wire, but the connection, if you can see, is different. 6 versus 4. Got the connection from the old display. I'm going to just splice the red and the black here to the red and black power. I've got my butt splices. They are crimp and heat, and then for good measure, I've got heat shrink to go over that. Alright, final product. For shits and giggles, I'm gonna just put some electrical tape around it to make sure we are good. I went ahead and put the anti-gravity battery in there. Fits nicely. There's a bit more space, but this fits tightly. One thing I did have to do, I needed to drill those to be a little bit bigger. The bolts and hardware that comes with the battery was bigger than the stock. So next up, important part to see if any of this actually works. I'm just gonna strip this wire. This is to the Motodash. Add my connector here. Now all we gotta do is grab our keys. Well, I can tell you one thing. We got power because our vapor is on. Oh my God, it's a miracle. Let's go. It's our switch for our USB. This is gonna be my switch for the aux lights, which I gotta hook up. Switch is working, however, the lights are not. What did I do? I now have ground, negative, positive to the battery. I've got positive to the switch, positive to the lights, straight to the battery. And we are going to see. Good. Still nothing. I just buttoned everything up and victory. Finally. It was giving me such a hard time, and that is just because I am an idiot. First, I took the beautiful wiring harness that the thumper jockey cables came with, and I thought that because this had constant power to the battery, I could just take each light, put negative, positive, and then put a ground, and I'd be good because it had constant power into the switch. So then it would have power and ground out of the switch to the lights. I was mistaken, so I ended up Frankensteining the harness back together to the original way and just basically cutting off the switch that came with the thumper jockey, putting it to this switch, and then took the rest of it straight through here to the battery. And the reason I could not get it to work was because I finally read the directions and it said, do not ground to the frame, ground to the battery only. So once I did that, great success. There she is, all back together. Got our thumper jockeys up front. Motodash is all in. Trail Tech, USB, looking good. Now I just gotta take her for a test ride, make sure all the sensors are proper, working. The display does seem to turn off after a few minutes, so that's cool. Well, we're all done. Everything's complete. Motodash installed, anti-gravity battery, got the Trail Tech Vapor display put in, got our thumper jockey lights. Everything's all buttoned up, works well, looks good. None of it was too hard. I've never done any wiring or anything like that before, and it really wasn't that bad at all. All the directions that came with everything were pretty simple, straightforward. The lights gave me a little bit of trouble, but you know, we got there in the end. Took me about a week to do because I could only do it when my kids go to bed, or kind of 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there kind of thing. Also, that power wire kind of tripped me up, and it took 3 days to get to me. So all in all, was not hard. If you had a good 3 to 4 hours to sit down and do it all, you probably could get it done, no problem. But anyway, it's all good. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you next time.